this week we are bringing in our new class of executive committee members and kind of running them through our boot camp orientation. These men and women will be joining our executive committee come the spring at our legislative conference, and I'm very pleased to be joined by Derek Clyburn of North Carolina, who's coming in as one of our new vice chairs. Derek, welcome to Washington and welcome to our studio. You're one of the handful of people to actually be recorded in here, so it's new for everybody. So,
well, Jeff, thank you for the warm welcome, and to everyone that's listening to this podcast. This studio is amazing, and it's absolutely first class, and we would expect nothing less of Jeff and the team.
It's an open invitation for anybody to come on down and use it. But very pleased that you can join us today, and especially talk about your new role coming on the executive committee. For those who have not met you or might not be familiar with the work that you've done in North Carolina, just tell our audience about yourself, kind of your background, and how you got involved with ACEC.
All right, great. Well, thanks, Jeff. Again, my name is Derek Clyburn. Here from Raleigh, North Carolina. I've been involved with ACEC for over 20 years. I started in North Carolina, participating in advocacy. And then I spent a lot of time in South Carolina for about 7 years and was very active there in South Carolina, working in the committees at the grassroots level. I served as the legislative committee chair and in turn was on the board there in South Carolina. So advocacy runs deep and is near and dear to my heart at the state level in both South Carolina and North Carolina. But my time in North Carolina is where I really feel like I had the biggest impact and a grand honor to serve as chair in North Carolina during our 50th anniversary celebration. I'm an engineer by formal training, graduate of Clemson University, and I earned my MBA at the University of Tennessee. And been in the consulting business for about 30 years now, and just really have a passion for serving our industry. We have such a amazing industry where we're able to bring projects to life, solve complex problems to make our society and the world better. And what I'm looking to do here, and I'm very, very fortunate and humbled to have this opportunity to serve on XCOM, so that I can serve at a higher level and bring energy, passion, and hopefully make a bigger impact on our industry to help it make it better.
You and I have talked, and one of the things that I really get a sense of is you have this passion on the side of the value that engineers bring, right? It's that not just the value of the work that they do, but their contribution to society, and really promoting the fact that engineers stand up and take advantage of the opportunity to say what we do matters and how we improve the communities around us, and by in turn the country is really something that should be given a spotlight. How do you think ACEC kind of should carry that message, should help its member firms really just amplify their essential value to their communities?
Yes, Jeff, thanks for touching on that. And we've had some very good conversations in that space. And one thing that I think ACEC has done a great job of here recently is the roadshow. Getting out there, displaying and talking about the amazing projects that our member firms have delivered. I know there was a recent roadshow in California with the new bridge there near to Port Long Beach. I mean, when you think about international commerce and how those different modes of transportation collide to power our marketplace, I mean, engineering is at the foundation of it.
Yeah.
And what I feel we need to do as an organization is to continue to provide educational opportunities to our membership so that they can, in turn, go and articulate the value that we bring. The days of being an unsung hero are gone. We need to make sure that the decision makers on the Hill, the decision makers at the state level, the clients across the country understand that we're not a commodity, that there is value in the intellectual capacity that we bring to bring their projects to fruition so they can achieve their goals. Also, when you're looking at engineering as a career, when you're talking about making an impact on the environment, I mean, what we do, what our member firms do, it's all driven to preserve our resources, to provide smart, efficient, environmentally responsible designs. I mean, so if you're looking at making an impact and having an impact on the world, engineering is key. And the business of engineering is absolutely necessary to keep our economy moving forward. So thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah, it's you bring up a really good point. I mean, if you look at, of course, with workforce issues being top of mind, I think right now we've moved from the legislative push to get the infrastructure bill passed and into law and now in implementation. Now the focus is kind of shifting over to workforce, and we're seeing this kind of generational shift in the, I guess not really the demand, well, the demands of a future workforce, the kids that now are in college or looking at STEM careers and what that is going to look like compared to the established workforce that we have right now in the industry. How do you think ACEC should address and capture the imaginations of those future engineers, right? I think you made a really good point just now about how pretty much if you're looking at the tip of the spear on environmental, on resiliency, on societal improvements, engineering is right there, right? But as an organization, what do you think ACEC should be doing to capture the minds of that next generation?
That's a great question, and that's something that I feel strongly about, and I think that's an opportunity for ACEC to really work in a collaborative manner with the different stakeholders to really promote the business of engineering. For example, what we're doing with the road show, what we're doing with EEA, I feel that EEA is a grand opportunity for us to really push out the amazing projects that are the end state, so that the potential workforce can actually see the amazing end product of what's designed. So communicating it through multiple communication chains is going to be key as far as, demonstrating and showing what the end result is and how that makes an impact, and really telling a story about how the projects are designed, how they're constructed, how they're commissioned, how they're maintained. All of those things are key components of providing our message. Second is really leaning in. ACEC is about the business of engineering. And one thing that often gets hidden is the opportunity for a career in engineering to create generational change. Yeah. So when you think about it, if you got a population of students or potential employees from a rural environment, they come to work for an engineering firm. Most engineering firms or S corporations or pass-throughs, and they have an opportunity to provide ownership, which gives people an opportunity to gain equity in these companies, so that not only do their work make an impact, but they are able to share in the success of the firm. Yeah. So that's one thing that we don't talk about enough, is how amazing of a career choice engineering can be. So really reaching out, having a very comprehensive message about impact on society, impact on the environment, doing rewarding and exciting work, and also the piece that you can maintain ownership. Yeah,
that's a really good point. I think that also just the for anybody out there who's not a member of ACEC, but they run or are part of the leadership chain in an engineering firm. I mean, the vast majority of our members are small firms, right? 80+% are small first stage small businesses or their family businesses that are looking, trying to figure out how can we grow, what's the next step for us as a firm. And that's really the sweet spot for ACEC membership. It's helping those firms take that next step and grow and get the resources necessary, the education, the understanding of the business of engineering to actually grow to that next stage. And coming back to really where we started with the states, with the MOs, how important it is for them to be active in the federation. What are your thoughts on the federation and how the MOs are working together? I mean, how would you, given your time with the organization, how would you kind of put where we are now compared to maybe where we have been in the past.
Yeah, thank you for bringing it back to the MOs, because that's where the work is done. There's strength in numbers. As I mentioned, and as you mentioned before, the coalitions, the value proposition that the organization brings to these smaller firms, because most of our firms are 50 people or less.
Yeah.
So the mission of ACEC is legislative advocacy and business services. So when you start thinking about the business services and helping firms become better, more efficient through the programming that's offered by ACEC, as well as the different coalitions that's lasered in on different specialty areas, there's a lot of value to be received there for those listening that aren't members. So I do have a call to action that please join.
Yeah.
So when you so when you think about the cooperation between MOs and how that works, just looking back 20 years ago, it's night and day.
Yeah.
I mean, the amount of cooperation, the amount of collaboration between MOs is amazing. And I know there's joint conferences that occur. There's, best practices with regards to using certain bills. I know in North Carolina, during my time there, I was part of the group that passed one of the first indemnification duty to defend bills that had no exceptions. So we were able to serve as a model.
Yeah.
So I know different states to the north and south of Virginia used our bill through a collaborative method to help run their own legislation.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of sharing of best practices, a lot of sharing of resources. So I will say, without a shadow of a doubt, that the cooperation now is better than ever.
And let's just, I guess, final question is, you'll have this opportunity as part of XCOM to kind of put your stamp on ACEC, kind of help move it in the direction that it's moving. Of course, strategic plans in place, and we're kind of organizing to kind of take and accomplish the objectives of that plan. But, looking forward, what do you want to be your stamp on ACEC National for your time on XCOM? To look back and say, yeah, I did that, and I helped push ACEC this way.
Yeah, so a few things, three. The first one is being a lightning rod to help get legislation that will help member firms create more equity opportunities for their employees. I'm really big on ownership opportunities for employees, and I feel that having impactful legislation to help facilitate that will be key. That's one thing that I want to focus on. The second thing is diversity, equity, and inclusion. When I say that, that means getting more people with diverse ideas and thoughts into the organization. And by doing that, we're stronger because there's strength in numbers. So I hope that we can help, that I can help, get more people to join, get more people involved.
Broaden the tent for the people who are in the council to help.
Absolutely. Broaden the tent, get more people under the tent from different areas, mechanical, electrical, plumbing, all of those specialty areas, chemical engineering, just have really a diverse, I want to make our membership, I want to draw in more diverse engineering firms from across the country with diverse ideas, diverse focus, diverse priorities, so that we can all make the Federation stronger. And then, most importantly, is helping lead the way with regards to bringing along the next generation of business leaders in the engineering space. It is absolutely critical that we solve that problem. ACEC is about the business of engineering and solving complex problems, and I feel that workforce over the long term is going to be one of the biggest problems that we need to solve, and I hope to help solve that.
It's going to be a very active couple of years, and it's going to be great to have you on board helping shape that direction. So, Derek, thanks for joining us today on the program.
Thank you for the opportunity, Jeff.
And look forward to working with you.
Same here.
And again, this has been Engineering Influence, a podcast from the American Council of Engineering Companies. We'll see you next time.